Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Brand new thing I started. I'm the Novig guy, uh, otherwise known as Dr. Shadow on Reddit, and that'll become important later. But for now, I wanted to show you what Novig is and why this is such a game changer for the sports betting world. So let's show you. So this is Novig. You log in, and before you log in, you have to sign up, of course, and use my code in the description there to get a nice bonus. And what exactly is that nice bonus? Well, so refer a friend, give 50, get 50. What does that mean? Well, it means you purchase at least $25, get $50 from Novig. That's a heck of a deal. Easy money right there. So highly recommend to check out my description for the code. Now, what is Novig? Novig is a sportsbook platform that is legal in many states, especially states where other platforms like FanDuel and DraftKings can't exist. So I highly recommend everyone to check that out. For instance, I just moved from New York, where I could use FanDuel and DraftKings or any others, to South Carolina, which has more stricter rules, but Novig is still allowed. So highly recommend that. Now, so that's nice and dandy. You have some parlay and profit boosts up here. So that's all fine and dandy, a good way to increase your EV, your expected value, how much money you're expected to make from a bet if you were to do a bet infinite number of times. So basically the profitability of a given bet. Now it is currently Saturday, the 4th of October at 2:36 p.m. So this is live as of right now. I'm a Bills fan, if you couldn't tell by my shirt, so I'm going to look at the Bills and Patriots. The Bills are heavily favored here, 7.5 points. Money line minus 381. So what does this mean? That means you have to bet $381 to make $100. Now, I I don't expect everyone who watches this to bet $100 every single time, but you can the platform will do the math for you and you can look up odds calculators as well. The Patriots are underdogs, they're plus 367. So for every $100 you bet, you win $367 or 3.67 times your money. You bet $1 and the Patriots win, you get $3.67. So that's how that works. Now, that's all fine and dandy. Sports books all over the world have that. And we can even look at live. Novig supports live betting. We can look at the Knicks and the 76ers. Look at their overs. You can go by the halves, whatever you want. 3-pointers. So you can see there's also player bets in here too. So that's all good. Now let's go back to football. Now, what makes Novig special from everyone else is that it is a marketplace. Now, what does that mean? Well, if I were to click on the Bills minus 381, I look at my order slip. Oh, I hit this button. There we go. So if I were to bet, let's say $1, what would I win? Well, it says down here $1.26. So a 26-cent profit. So not a whole lot. But that's known as a take bet. And this is where the marketplace thing comes into play. I can take, which means I take the best odds available as of right now. So right now, the Bills minus 381. Or if I'm liking the Patriots, they're plus 367. So taking means I'm taking the best offer on the table right now. Now, you'll notice there's a number here, $57.12. So at the minus 381 odd, $57.12 are available to bet on that odd. Looking at the Patriot side, plus 367. There's $13.97 available to bet on that. So if I wanted to bet $50 and I was hard on betting $50 on the Patriots, $13.97 would be at this rate, and then the remainder of my money would be on this rate because the 367 runs out. So that's how that works. However, what is arguably the best part is the make option. So you are making an offer. You are basically becoming a sports book in a way by making your odds. So I like the Bills, but I'm thinking 381, that's not a whole lot of value. Can I do any better? And maybe I can. If we look, Novig is suggesting that we could get minus 369. Now, how does it come up with that odds? Well, it's the next one after plus 367. So correspondingly, I could get minus 369 on the Bills. So that's a good improvement. That's 12 points. 381 to 369. So I could do that. I could say, give me the odds of minus 369. And then I'd place how much I'm willing to wager on that. I could say any number I want, like at least $1, up to, thousands if I wanted to. And it would appear on the order sheet. I could say $10. Then the corresponding New England's plus side would be available for someone to grab, and that's how they would match my bet. So I'm not betting against the house. I'm betting against other people. I am a sports book. I'm making an odd. I'm offering this odds for a certain dollar amount of my choosing. Now, if you notice, there's a blue button here, and this is extra special about Novig. You hit that. This is the order duration or the expiration. So if no one matches your bet or your order, it will expire at the game start. That's default. However, if you're a little more cautious, if you're more conservative about your betting and you're like, well, if no one gets my order in the next hour, it'll expire. Or I could say, well, the Bills game is Sunday at 8 p.m.-ish. So I could say, give it a day, one day. So now it'll expire tomorrow at 3:43 p.m. I could even change that if I wanted to. So you can set a duration. You can put it right to game time or an hour before game time or a few hours before game time, whatever you're comfortable with. So that's making. You are making an offer. And I'll show you an example of one that I actually made. I'll go to portfolio, and that's where you view both your matched and your unmatched bets. So basically your filled orders and pending orders. So if we look at here, I like James Cook at over 16.5 rushing attempts. He's averaging, 17 or 18, sometimes more quite often. And I made the offer at plus 106 in the amount of $5. So $5 worth of bets were offered at the rate of plus 106. And someone matched me on it. I don't know who, but someone matched me. So they took the under of 16.5 rushing attempts at minus 106. Okay? And of course, if my bet wins, if James Cook rushes for at least 17 attempts, I get $10.31, more than double my money. Now, if we click, this shows you the histories of where the lines have moved or what's been favored. And we can see what the lines are right now. So the over on the 16.5 has dropped to minus 109. So you can see I got very good value. I got plus 106. So that's a great value that I made and someone matched me. Okay. Now here is an offer that has not been matched yet. Jacksonville plus 200 in the first half money line. So they're playing the Chiefs Monday night. I placed a $5 offer for the Jaguars to beat the Chiefs in the first half at plus 200, and I would triple my money, go to $15.02. So the Jaguars would have to score more points than the Chiefs in the first half. No one has matched this yet, so no one has took the Chiefs minus 200 in the first half. Now that's okay because as you can see here, it says top of book. So that means my offer is the best offer for this bet. So no one is doing better than plus 200 first half money line or minus 200 first half money line for the Chiefs. So we can look at that. We can click. You can see there has been no recent trades, because I made it and no one has traded with me. But you can see the Kansas City Chiefs minus 200. That's it. That's all there is. That's just my offer, and no one has matched it yet. But that's okay. There's still time. There's still a couple days. It's only Saturday. And if we scroll down even more, I did another order on the Buccaneers at plus 179 straight up money line against the Seahawks. Now, if you notice, it says 2 orders. So what happened here? Well, originally, I placed a $2 total amount, and it was partially filled. Novig allows partial fills. So someone placed 55 cents on my bet. I like Tampa Bay on plus 180. That was my original offer. So someone took the Seahawks at minus 180 for 55 cents. Then I got a notice. If you look up here, see how this says top of book? I got a notice that says not top of book. You need to adjust to become the top of book. So basically my order was getting buried by better odds. So I was at risk of not getting matched. So I adjusted it with a simple click of a button. It was one single button and it dropped it to plus 178. And that was quickly filled by $1.44. So basically the remainder of my $2 bet. So 178 and 180, they averaged to 179. So I'm getting the Buccaneers at plus 179, essentially. Now, if we look at that market, again, you can see the history. Right now, the Buccaneers are plus 179. I'm sorry, 175 right now. So again, I got a good value. Even though I had to drop from 180, I'm still getting good value. And the Seahawks are still at minus 179. So I got good value. That's the advantage of being a maker. That's the advantage of coming in early, looking at the markets and seeing if you can make a better offer. Now, I'll do one better for you. What if there was a way to guarantee your money? You might be thinking about it. If you might be saying, "Hey, you're at plus 179 and the Seahawks right now are minus 179. What happens if the Seahawks line changes where it becomes like minus 160? Well, now I have a plus 179, a minus 160 on the Seahawks. That's a automatic profit. No matter who wins, I would profit. And in fact, Novig supports that. So let's go to settled. I'll show you what happened. Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdowns, at least 1.5. So Niners and Rams on Thursday Night Football. I placed an order. So let's go to my very first order. These were all canceled because I had to adjust. So My original order was Christian McCaffrey under the 1.5 touchdowns at minus 333. And I threw in $1.66 on it. Then the line for CMC to go over that was moving quite a bit. It ended up going to plus 403. And that is a good hedge. If I was looking at two different sports books, I'd call this an arbitrage. But it's all within Novig. The line just moved that much. So I was able to go to an arbitrage calculator and I said, I bet $1.66 at minus 333. What do I need to bet at plus 403 to guarantee a profit? And it said 43 cents. So a total bid of what, like $2 and change, 209 in fact, awarded me a 216 early payout. Now what does that mean? Well, Novig is smart enough to see when you have a guaranteed payout. I was guaranteed to profit no matter if he got 2 touchdowns or 0 touchdowns or 1 touchdown, didn't matter. I was profiting. And Novig awarded me that profit immediately. As soon as the game started, it awarded me that profit. So then I could go and make more bets, especially live bets as the game was going, if I wanted to. No other sports book that I know of does that. That is incredible. It knows that you're going to profit and it gives it to you as soon as the game starts. I don't have to wait 3 or 4 hours to get my money. So that's awesome. Now, we talked about the referral program. Again, check out my code in the description. Spend $25, you get $50. Not only that, there's login bonuses. You log in for 5 days, you get $1. Well, that's free money. Parlay insurance. If you have 3 legs of a parlay at plus 300 odds total, and you're betting at least $5, if you get 2 out of the 3 legs right, you get $5 on your first one. If you do that 5 times, you get $10. Do it 10 times, you get $20. So that's like a parlay insurance. And then there are other bonuses involving soccer, baseball, college, hockey, and even more. Lots of bonuses. Now, one of the best bonuses besides the referral is if I wanted to deposit more money. So it's pretty simple. $5 deposit gets you $5 in Novig cash. 10 and 10, 25, 25, 50, 50, 100, 100. Now, when you're a new account, something's going to happen. This number for $50 will become 45. Spend $45, get 50. This may not apply to all accounts, but it happened to me on my deposit. I only had to spend $45 to get 50 in Novig cash. You might be asking, well, how come you only have $38? Aren't you winning all the time? Aren't you profiting? I am. It's just my money is tied up in these active positions. So $5 and 38.07, that's 43.07, 48.07, and then 50.07. So that arbitrage of CMC awarded me 7 cents profit. Now that's peanuts. Obviously, I know that. That's pennies. Like, who cares? But this is just a test. I'm just testing this out. And it's a guaranteed profit, and it was about a 3% profit. You're going to take a 3% profit on your bet whenever it's handed to you. I mean, you look at a high yield savings account online, you're looking at 4.5% APR. Well, what if you get 3% in a single bet? Like, that's pretty great. One more thing I wanted to show. Since this is a popular game, let's go into some player props again. This time we'll go to Josh Allen. And you can select different yards. So let's check this out. And again, this is the make or take thing. Now, often on sites like FanDuel, they're going to place a very low limit on how much you can bet on player props, especially if they're boosted or something. You might only be able to get $25 on a single line. Novig doesn't have that problem. If there is money in the offer, you can take all the money. You can put $508 on under 225.5 yards. Like that's incredible. They're like the limit is high roller range. So you can be a small timer like me, you can be a big time player. Novig supports everybody. Now, one more trick that I highly, highly recommend. So here in the settings is something I need to show you. And if we go to advanced settings, unseated markets, you want to enable that. It's disabled by default. You want to make sure you can see all kinds of markets, all kinds of bet options that you can place an order for. For example, that CMC one, that wasn't available until I checked this button, the over 1.5. The over on 0.5 touchdowns was there, but not 1.5. So by clicking this button, I was able to place that make order and someone matched me for it, and that guaranteed my profit. So highly recommend turning on this option. And that's really it, guys. That's the basics of Novig. I will keep you posted on more things about it as things come up. I'll keep you up to date on my progress, on my winnings, losings, experiences, good and bad otherwise.
That's it. That's it.